So a little humility can go a long way. Not even you is going to be immune from a recession. Okay, I was, for those of you that follow me or you're friends with me on Facebook, you saw that last week I was on my 20th anniversary trip for my 20th anniversary, and we went to the Biltmore Estate. And so as we did the tour, we did all the tours, right? We did the big house, and we did the backstairs tour, and we did the rooftop tour, and we were just going, we're going to look at. So as we go through the private tours, where there's only a dozen people, that's where they let you ask questions. So I'm asking real estate questions, right? Like I want to know how much did it cost to build, right? How many acres does he have? Right? So you know he had 125,000 acres originally. It cost about $3 to $5 per acre, okay? So he bought Mount Pisgah, I think is how you say it. He bought the mountain. He invested and put 3 million trees he planted on this mountain. He owned like as far as the eye could see, and he spent like, what is that, $400,000 or $500,000? Like that's pretty incredible, right? So but anyway, it's cool story. So I'm asking all these questions about real estate. So the cool thing is, this is George Vanderbilt. He invested millions and millions of dollars, which again, way back then was like hundreds of millions, like it was a lot of money, right? And he built this massive house, this 175,000 square foot house on 125,000 acres. It's a lot of hundreds of thousands, right? And he built this massive place, and they said that there were certain times when the economy kind of got rough, where even George Vanderbilt had to pack his family up, leave the 175,000 square foot house and go to a smaller house that they owned because it was cheaper to run, less staff was needed, and they would stay there until times got a little better, and then they would move out. So we're talking about one of the richest people of his time had to cut back sometimes and be careful in a recession, okay? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the United Arab Emirates, or you know about Dubai, or you've seen any of these movies like the Mission Impossible and Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and all this kind of stuff. Well, they have this incredible thing where they just build islands. Like they got so much money, they just make islands, right? So they had this one where it's a big palm tree, and they got one where it's the whole world, and you could like buy an island in the shape of a country. Like coolest thing ever, right? Well, when they were building that in the early 2000s, there was an economic pullback and a recession, and this is an oil company, an oil country with billions and billions and billions of dollars, and yet they had to stop making the islands and the countries because times got tough, right? A recession happened and they weren't able to sell these things. So you have to understand, not even you, it doesn't matter how much money you have, these things are going to affect you, so you just got to be able to pay attention, see these things. But the biggest point I want to make here tonight is that every phase, while you're not going to be immune from it, every phase provides opportunity. Okay? There's always going to be unique opportunities. If you see it and you recognize it and you make the necessary shifts, the biggest danger is because your business is and I've seen people do this so many times, your business is working this way and you're always done it this way and you've done it this way for 10 years and you're making all this money this way, but you don't realize that when the market shifts, you got to kind of tweak a little bit. You've been putting the square peg into the square hole, and all of a sudden the hole becomes round and it's not working anymore, and you got to shave off the edges and you got to change a few things. And if you're resistant to doing that, oftentimes it can set you back years because you're not prepared to make those changes as things shift, okay?